And welcome back, folks. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but rain has been starting to set in here at Floyd Hall Stadium, so just trying to get everything customized to that. But we're here in the top of the second, and then back in the bottom of the first, the Cobras, after many mistakes by the Superstars, were able to take a 4-0 lead in this game. This is going to be the only game today, as the usual 7 o'clock game was canceled due to inclement weather. This game was originally scheduled for 4 o'clock, but had to endure a 2 hour and 20-minute delay due to the weather and having to get the field at least ready. There's another strike for the count. This is Ray Placenia. He gets the ball in his count, and he takes the walk. Next up, Julio Perez. Now, while the Superstars things got out of hand for the Superstars back in the bottom of the first, at least on the defensive side. Pitcher made a couple wild pitches, and of course, just great batting put a disadvantage for the Superstars that allowed the Cobras to take the 4-0 lead. But now it's different. Your at bat, they've shown that they can at least put runners in scoring position, so they just got to do it again. No outs on the board. If they can keep it clean, maybe get a sacrifice fly, try to close that gap up. And there's the ball. And here's the pitch. And that's a strike. It's a 2-1 count for Julio Perez. And here's the pitch. It's now a 2-2 count. And here's the pitch. Outside for a ball, and it's now a full count. 3-2. Well, actually, Perez is actually going to take the walk. So it looks like that was either a hit by pitch or a miscalculation on the count. It had to be a hit by pitch because before it was 2-1 count, then it turned into a 2-2 count. There we see the Cobras getting on top of the mound, having a conversation. See JoJo Mann, starting pitcher for the Cobras. You know, there's a little bit trickier conditions as well. You know, this isn't your usual game here at Floyd Hall Stadium. This isn't a turf field. This is clay, grass, so obviously the conditions are a little bit tricky here. And of course, not only do they have to deal with weather before the game, but in the middle of the bottom of the first, it just started to come down. Light showers, they got a little bit heavy, but still experiencing some of these showers here in the top of the second. Makes the conditions very tricky for everyone here in the field. It's not stopping JoJo Mann as he's been throwing dimes in the strike box. Gets the 0-1 count to start things off here with Gio Brown. And there's a ball. It's a 1-1 count. And here's the pitch. Ball is fouled. That'll be a 1-2 count. And here's the pitch. Strike 3. And Gio Brown is going to take the walk back to the dugout. Now we have Josh Egberts now. His first offering is a strike. And here's the pitch, way upstairs for a ball. And here's the pitch, downstairs, ball 2. It's a 2-1 count. And here's the pitch, fouled off. So it'll be a 2-2 count. You got to think with the rain continuing to go down, look at the forecast, looks like it might even get a little bit worse. So with the potential that the game could potentially be called off, because as well as lightning has been in the area for a long portion of the day, even before the game, that was the main holdup for this game taking so long as we see strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for JoJo Mann. You got to think with the threat of weather and that could potentially cause the game to end prematurely, the time's got to start that these teams are going to start playing a little more urgently here. Remember, it's only a 7-inning game, so to get to halfway, it doesn't take much. So all these at-bats, all these pitches, all this play is going to count more than ever. You can't really have a lull period here with the threat of rain continuing to persist. We see Garrett Lineberger now at bat. And here's the pitch. Ball's in play. Caught. Top of the second is done. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the bottom of the second. And welcome back, folks, here in the bottom of the second. We see Aline Cruz, the designated hitter, now at bat for the Cobras. Remember, Cobras have a 4-0 lead over the Superstars. And here's the pitch. Outside ball. Back to the top of the lineup with Andres Rivera, who managed to score the first run for the Cobras. The first baseman for the Cobras got things started in the bottom of the first. Puts that ball into play. Toss over from the shortstop to first. They managed to at least get one out on the board. Looks like they're trying to figure that out. We're hearing conflicting reports as to whether they managed to get one out or what. So, well, there we go. Now we see Aline Cruz take. So Aline Cruz heads back to the dugout. Now we see Jaden Smith now at bat. Actually, it might have been a double play, actually. Because we're not seeing Andres Rivera now on first. We see the wild pitch thrown. Superstars might have been able to get the double play there. I'm going to call that as a double play because we see no one on first until we're told otherwise. And here's the pitch. Ball. Jaden Smith gets the walk and gets himself on to first. Next up is Jaden Cummings, the third baseman for the Cobras. Got cut off on his trip to second back in the first. 0 for 1 at bat as his first appearance. He went for the walk. Still looking for his first hit of the game. That offering is fouled off. Just great at batting by the Cobras. Are able to place the balls in these positions where the superstars just aren't prepared to make the jump at it. And it's really like the Cobras are using the weather to their advantage. Even though the defensive side, they've been a little more clean on the defensive side compared to the superstars. And especially at bat, it's almost like the superstars can't really make the plays in this type of weather. I mean, these are pretty tricky conditions right here for both teams to play it. But it seems like the team that's been mastering it so far has been the Cobras, as they now have a 5-0 lead. And with another runner in scoring position, let's see what Jeremy Mattis can do. This count continues to get filled by balls. It's a 2-1 count. And here's the pitch. It's another ball. And here's the pitch. Outside. Looks like there's an issue going on with dry balls. We're hearing a lot of commotion as to trying to get some dry balls for the pitcher. And that's another thing as well. This isn't... You got to think about that as well. For someone like Colin Lewis, I mean, on the mound, I mean, with the rain continuing to come down, that's he wants, which in turn is not getting the nice pitches as, ooh, we see a big hit by pitch there. Ooh, Jeremy Mattis is on the ground and he's holding on to his leg, got hit by the pitch, spun around, and then fell to the ground. Oh my goodness. That was not pretty. Hopefully he's okay. We see Coach Antonio Ponte walk by. He's taking the hobble. We hear the dugouts cheer him on, and Mattis is going to take his time to get himself to first. Thankfully, he's okay. And we just talked about that with those pitches. Once again, when you have, I mean, you can't really blame it on the pitcher necessarily. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of mistakes in the bottom of the first, but again, keep that in mind. The balls are continuing to get wet with the rain continuing to come down. That's not giving not just the pitcher, but the defense the grip that they need to hold on to the ball. So we do see a pitching change here. Number 17 looks like a Suns player, so see some loaning from the league. We'll get word as to who that is. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back when things get started. So, I mean, it's going to take time. Perfect. Good eye there by Jonathan Rivero. Right fielder for the Cobras. There's a 1-1 count here in the bottom of the second. Still 2 outs on the board. Cobras were able to walk in a run to make it a 6-0 lead. Another ball. Cobras still have loaded bases. And we saw this in a game between the Vipers and the Bites. There's another strike, evens the count at 2-2. But we saw this between a game between the Bites and the Vipers, where the Vipers had the lead over the Bites, but they just kept walking people into loaded bases. And then, well, a walk-off grand slam ended that game, but it's the same concept in the sense of you can't just allow the bases to load in terms of walk after walk after walk. Because at that point, that's all in the pitcher. You're not even giving your defense a shot to try to close the game out. And there's strike 3, and that's going to put the bottom of the second to a close. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the top of the third. And welcome back, folks. Here in the top of the third, the Cobras were able to extend their lead to 6-0 over the Superstars. So we hear the umpire call time. Clean off one of the balls. That's been a major issue this game so far. It's just trying to get balls. Just trying to dry balls after continuing to play in wet conditions. We see the ball in play, goes past the diamond. But that's an easy base hit for number 2. It's not like the Superstars haven't been trying. That's the third inning in a row they've been able to get a runner on base. So they've been very efficient at bat. It's just not as efficient as the Cobras have been. Also, the Cobras just been playing better defense as well. And here's the pitch. And it's a strike. No outs on the board. A runner on first. And the ball's in the air. Fouled off. An 0-2 count. And here's the pitch. Ball outside. Can they pick him off at second? Blue rules it as an out. And just like that, that puts an out on the board. That looks like the second pickoff that we've seen in today's game. That puts the first out on the board for the Superstars. And just like that, they have an out on the board. They don't have runners on base. That makes this at-bat more crucial. But with that wild pitch, it's going to make things easier. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that's the second out on the board for the Superstars. And now the number 9 batter is at bat. And here's the pitch. Ball in play. He's going to make the run over to first. But caught, and that's going to put the top of the third to a close. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the bottom of the third. And welcome back, folks, here in the bottom of the third. Cobras have a 6-0 lead over the Superstars. So now we see Lucas McCormick, the catcher, now at bat. Cobras able to take advantage of the changing conditions much more efficiently than the Superstars. Superstars continuing to make errors when it comes to defense. Cobras taking advantage of that when it comes to at-bat. Let's see if that continues here. The Superstar is going to be able to adjust, or are the Cobras continue scoring runs? Happen as we see the 0-1 count here for Lucas McCormick. And here's the pitch. Strike. It's an 0-2 count for McCormick. And here's the pitch. Ball's in play, it's towards left field. Make the toss over to first. Very efficient. Didn't make any mistakes at first, and nothing flashy, nothing crazy. Just got the job done, and really that's all the Superstars need right now. They don't need flashy plays because they've been making too many errors. They just need to get the simple things right. Then the outs will come as we see the swing and a miss for Elin Cruz. Cruz making his third appearance here in the third. And it's back-to-back 0-2 pitches for Lucas McCormick. Or excuse me, for Chris Pinellas. And here's the pitch. Ball fouled off. This one to the right. So these Cobra at-bats, these Cobra batters, they're staying patient over the first two, and then it's that third pitch where they take the swing, and you're seeing Cruz, he's getting ready to make the swing, and here's the pitch. Stays patient there. That's strike three. That's the first strikeout for Chris Pinellas, and that's the second out on the board for the Cobras. And we're starting to see the Superstars on the defensive side finally start to get a little bit of form here. Able to make the plays on the infield defense and at pitching mound. And Chris Pinellas is on fire right now as we head back to the top of the lineup. 4 straight strikes thrown by Chris Pinellas. And here's the pitch. And that streak is broken with the ball. Ties the count up at 1-1. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. It's a 1-2 count. And here's the pitch. Way outside for a ball. It's going to tie the count up at 2-2. Interesting. There's no runners on base for the Cobras. It's a good job by the Superstars to keep them at bay. And now it's going to be a full count here for Andres Rivera. first time in this game that we've really seen the superstars take control on defense. Swing and a miss, and that's going to put the third inning to a close. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the fourth. And welcome back, folks, here in the top of the fourth, where the Cobras have a 6-0 lead over the Superstars. And first offering is a hit by pitch. And number 6 is going to take the walk over to first. Next up, is Ray Plosenia. First offering is a ball. Here's the pitch. Flown out towards left field. It's fouled off. Another thing to keep in mind is that there is a 2.5-hour limit to these games, and we started at 6:20. 7:55, about to hit the 8 o'clock mark, so we got a little bit of ways to go. We got a little under an hour, so I believe this game can get done quick. I mean, still about 3.5 innings to go, but we got a couple quick 3-and-outs, a couple quick plays from the defense. Might still have some scoring in the mix of it, but there is still a good chance we can get this game in before the limit. You see a wild pitch thrown. Everyone stays put in their positions. And here's the pitch. And here's the pitch way outside. And here's the pitch. This one heads towards left field, but is fouled off. The last thing you want as a pitcher, especially in the rain, is for the foul balls to continue to pile. I mean, you already don't want a foul ball if you're a pitcher. That's more pitches that are just being added to your arm. But now imagine that with virtually zero grip because of the rain. That's what makes any strikeout that much more impressive. We've had a couple strikeouts already in this game on both sides. And here's the pitch. Way outside on that wild pitch. And 13 is going to take the walk and get himself to first. Well, we talked about it with the conditions that these guys have to go through in this weather. I mean, the rain is still coming down, even if it's just by a little bit. I mean, these guys have to constantly dry the balls nonstop, but What about the ball that the pitcher's having in his mitt? He's not worried about trying to dry it. He's worried about just trying to throw the best pitch that he can. But when you have such a slippery pitch, that's just adding more of an advantage to the offense and to the runners on base. And I think we're starting to see that finally here with JoJo Mann as we see the wild pitch advance the runners up each by one base. And now, for I believe the third time in this game, the Superstars have a runner in scoring position and could put their first run on the board. And here's the pitch. Towards right field, but fouled. And here's the pitch. Fouled off once again. Now, this is the one time where if you're a pitcher, you're fine with the foul because that's just adding strikes to the count. But any more fouls from here on out would not be ideal for JoJo Mann on the mound. And here's the pitch. 19 nearly gets hit by that one. That adds a ball to his count. It's a 2-2 count. And here's the pitch. Way outside for the wild pitch, and the Superstars looked like he scored that run, but at the same time, he also got hit. I don't know if that counted as a tag out or a run. We're going to get confirmation on that in a second. Is that a run score or did he get out? Is that a run score or did he get out? Score. So we confirm that that was a run scored by the Superstars. And the Superstars put their first run on the board and closed the gap to the Cobras ever so slightly. Carson Adams was the one who scored. So we see another foul ball. And this is just coming at the advantage of the batter. He's just getting more shots at it and better opportunities as there's more pitches on the arm of the pitcher. And we see that again with another foul. And here's the next pitch. This one heads towards left field, and it's again fouled off. If you're the pitcher, because again, I mean, once you get the ball in the mitt, I mean, yeah, it may come as dry as it can get, but let's say with the rain still coming down, it's just going to continue to make it more and more wet. You don't know what it means for these guys to play in the wet. You may think just on the defensive side. In my opinion, it comes more with the pitcher because, again, he doesn't have the grip that he needs, so he can't throw the ball like he'd want to. But he threw that one to perfection and gets a strikeout. got to give credit there to JoJo Man. Anytime you get a strikeout in these kinds of conditions, it is very impressive. I mean, we've seen all the wild pitches thrown in this game alone, and every time we see a strikeout, just for the ball to get that precise with the lack of grip that these guys have. And here's the pitch, way outside for a ball. This is Chris Bayo. And here's the pitch, strike. Here's the pitch. This one stays in bounds. Caught by the shortstop. Tosses it over to first. That puts 2 on the board for the Superstars. Superstars with the sacrifice on in, and now they've closed it to a 2-6 gap on the Cobras. I mean, I talked about it earlier. The Superstars can get themselves on base. It was just a matter of can they get some luck to go their way. And had a couple wild pitches by JoJo Man, allowed the runners to steal some bases, and that set the ball rolling for the Superstars to put their first 2 runs on the board. Here's the pitch. Way overhead for a ball. And here's the pitch. Who calls it a ball? And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that puts the inning to a close. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the bottom of the 4th. And welcome back, folks. Here in the bottom of the fourth as the ball is in play. 12 is going to make the run over to first and get the single with ease. Andres Rivera, first offering, takes the swing at it and gets the base knock. Next up is Jaden Smith. Now here's Jaden Smith, who managed to score the second run for the Cobras back in the first. Well, they try to pick off Andres Rivera at first, but Andres is safe. No changes on the mound, still Chris Pinellas. Well, Chris thinks to cut him off again. Just keeping Andres honest. Now he deals. A good shot down the middle. Jaden Smith gets strike one. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. And here's the pitch. That one's in. Once again, they try to cut Andres off at first. Andres is still safe. Smith's going to have another go at it. Another thing here is that the playoffs for the Charles Johnson Summer League are also inching ever so closer. We only have really about a week and a half left until the playoffs start. And here's the pitch. Ooh, wild pitch there. Jaden's going to take his time, gather his things. Ready to get back going. Once again, they think to cut Andres off at first. I mean, at this point, I know you want to keep Andre honest at first, but he's going to keep going for it. I think if you're Chris, you might just want to focus on the pitcher, the person at bat. You have a couple strikes already on him. It'd be best to at least try to get Throws that pitch outside, but I think it's best that he focuses on the at bat. He has a 2-2 count. He just needs to throw one more strike, and that's a strikeout. Puts an out on the board. You're not going to get that if you keep focusing on Andres at first. And already with the fact that the wet weather conditions, you know, fouls that one off. And here's the pitch. This one is fouled off once again. Back-to-back fouls for Jaden Smith. Do you think with Chris, I think with Chris, you know, he kept Andres honest at first a lot, but only threw it about once or twice. A couple of those times he didn't even need to throw it to get Andres to have a reaction. So that might come into his advantage. He might have a little more life left in that arm than he would have otherwise if he just constantly thrown when keeping Andres honest at first. That's way outside. Now it's a full 3-2 count. And here's the pitch. And that's a strike. And Chris takes the walk Jaden takes the walk back to the dugout. Next up is Jaden Cummings, who managed to score a run back in the second. Blue calls time. Chris going to have a conversation with his catcher. And here's the pitch. Good eye by Cummings there to stay patient. Gets the ball in his count. And here's the pitch. Fouled off. And here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. And here's the pitch. Fouled off again. So Jaden Cummings gets the walk. Coach going to have a conversation with Chris and his catcher. Chris is going to stay in the game. Next up, Luis Mon. His first offering goes for a ball. And here's the pitch. Fouled off. Strike. And that's the second out on the board for the Cobras. Conditions starting to get a little bit better for these players. It's not getting as wet. Rain's starting to lighten up, if not completely dissipate. And that's helping the defense as well, and of course the pitcher. I think that's one reason why you're starting to see more and more strikeouts, especially from the superstars. Here's the next pitch. Strike. This is Jeremy Mattis, who had that scare hit by pitch back in the second. Still going strong here in the bottom of the fourth. And here's the pitch. He tries to bunt that ball. Still gets the ball on the count. And here's the pitch. He bunts that ball. He's going to make the run over the first. Can they get there in time? And they do. And that'll put the fourth inning to a close. Great job there by the superstars to make the play in time off the bunt. And that'll take us to the fifth when we return. And welcome back, folks, here in the top of the fifth. Cobras still hold the lead 6-2 to the superstars. First offering's a swing and a miss, and that's strike one. Now it's an 0-2 count. This is Julio Perez making his next appearance. And here's the next offering, outside for a ball. Blue actually calls out a strike. And that's the first out on the board. That one, either he took a minor swing at it. It's the only thing I can think of as we see that. That is easily a ball, but that ball looked very similar to the one before. So Julio must have taken the slightest swing at it as we now see Gio Brown at bat. There's a wild pitch, and that's a ball. Cobras trying to wrap things up and wrap it fast. Only 2.5 innings left, but the clock is running out as there is a time limit. We started at around 6:20 mark of this game. It's a 2.5-hour limit, and it's currently 8:38. So if my math is correct, then the game only has about 12 minutes left of life in it. And you got to wonder if the superstars know that. Are they going to start taking some big swings at it? Going to try to start making some things happen just in order to try to close the gap? Because they're only down by 4 runs. The Cobras were able to take a 4-0 lead in the first alone. So you got to imagine with time running out, how are both these teams going to respond? And you got to imagine as well that you're going to see a lot more straightforward calls as well. Just the ball in the dirt. And that could go either way for each team. I think each of these teams are going to be are going to play with a lot of urgency here as it is the top of the 5th, but with the time running out, this might as well be the final inning. Now we see Gio Brown take the walk over to first. Now we have Josh Egberts now at bat. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And here's the next pitch. Ball in play from third. Toss it to first, but can't keep it in the mitt. And there's a runner on first and second. Good job there by Egberts to make the play. Got there to first in time. First baseman just couldn't keep the ball in his mitt. See Coach Nino toss pitcher JoJo ball. And there's the pitch, strike 1. And here's the pitch. Nearly got hit by that one. And here's the next one, downstairs for another ball. There we see a stolen base. We're able to see Egberts get himself Boy, Gio is really stretching the field between second and third, nearly making it halfway. The rain is starting to come back. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that's another strikeout. Next up, Garrett Lineberger. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. The pitch. Strike. 2 outs on the board, a 1-1 count, and a runner on second. Superstars trying to close the gap even further on the Cobras. And here's the pitch. Outside for another ball. And here's the pitch. Strike 2. It's a 2-2 count. And here's the pitch. Fouled off towards right field. Another wild pitch is going to allow the Superstars. Is he safe? No. Looked like Blue ruled him as safe. And just like that, the Superstars put their third run on the board off the wild pitch by JoJo Man. And now it's a 3-run game. But you got to think, with the time limit inching ever so closer, the Superstars are starting to get a little bit of form in the later portion of this game. You just got to think that had they been able to do that a little bit sooner before the time limit reaches, because we should be about 5 minutes away from the time limit. And here's the pitch. Wild pitch outside, and the Superstars are going to put another one on the board. The Superstars with 2 runs scored back-to-back off wild pitches by JoJo Man make it a 2-run game. Well, we've seen crazier things happen here in this league. We haven't really seen a home run at this park. This isn't like a Raymond Boyd Field where home runs are pretty much a near guarantee every week. You know, this park is a little more difficult to clear the fences, but I mean, they're able to get a runner on base, and then they score a 2-run. Anything's possible. Caroline Burger really hasn't had to do much. Oh, we've seen Coach Antonio Ponte head up to top of the mound. No, he's going to take the walk back. Probably have a conversation with the umpire. Sorry about the balls. Antonio's pretty much been in charge in terms of finding dry balls for the pitchers to play with. And here's the pitch. Fouled off towards right field. Clears even the suites over here at Floyd Hall Stadium. That was able to stay in bounds. That would have been a massive fly out. Or it could have cleared the fences and make it a home run. And here's the next pitch. Strike. And here's the pitch. Strike 3. And that'll put the top of the 5th to a close. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th. It's probably going to finish after this. 6 minutes. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the game. The time limit has reached, and the Cobras are going to squeak away from the Superstars, who were starting to mount a late-game comeback. But the Cobras able to hold on and take the 6-4 lead as time expires here, and really rainy conditions here at Floyd Hall Stadium. That's going to do it for us here. But stick around for tomorrow, because tomorrow is the All-Star game. We'll see you then.